We are delighted to have you here at the PHILSME Business Show. This is a business podcast and vodcast dedicated to help SME business owners like you boost your business. In today's episode, we meet Lars Wittig, Country Manager of PHL and Senior VP of APAC North of IWG. IWG is the global operator of leading workspace providers. Stay tuned for a few messages from the sponsors that made this episode happen.
Imagine your business not just reaching its goals, but surpassing them. With Esquire Financing, that vision is not just a possibility, it's reality. Get the cash your business needs in as fast as 3 days, making your barriers become stepping stones. Our partnership is a sure success.
Running a business can be hard, but over 7 million people have found a way to make it easier with Odoo. Odoo's suite of business applications streamline, automate, and simplify your business. With user-friendly, intuitive, and fully integrated apps for CRM, accounting, e-commerce, manufacturing, inventory management, you name it, Odoo's got it. Stop wasting time with old software and start getting stuff done with Odoo. Get a free trial at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Welcome to the Philippine SME Business Show. My name is Trixie Esguerra-Abrenilla, and with me is Reju's IWG Senior Vice President for APAC North, Lars Wittig. Hi, Lars. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Been looking forward to this.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have a couple of questions for you. I've been wanting to get your insights and to share more about what you do, but before we get to that, I'm going to ask you. You have been partners with PHILSME for the longest time.
Yep.
So what's your favorite PHILSME story?
Oh, wow. The story is really just to see how it has evolved year on year. It is a trade show, and as such a show, I've been invited to present on stage. I've been invited to cut the ribbons. I've seen it be growing. I've seen you building a community of SMEs, and I think community building, that's really what it is very much about, especially for startup companies. What about you? What is your favorite?
Wow, but I'm just trying to get that all in because that warms my heart. For you to say that you've seen it grow, wow, thank you. I just really want to take this opportunity to say thank you for sticking by with us, for always supporting. You're always there in the expo.
But if I may add, we have also been growing along with you guys. So, it is synergy, it complements each other, and it has worked, I think, for both parties.
I think so.
And many, many others, I'm sure.
You know, during the pandemic, when everything got closed, obviously, and David, my husband, had to stop. He had to let go all of his employees. All that's left was uncertainty of what's going to happen, right? But when he started to find his space again, he started with the virtual events and then slowly trying to get into SMX again. I have seen him, because we were newly married, Lars. I have seen him do all the meetings via Zoom from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. And he's got no employees. It's just really him talking to each and every exhibitor. And that's how I got to understand the business. I got to understand the approach and what this is all about.
There's no doubt that adversity is what defines us, and we learn from it on the other side. Would we ever want to go back and try it one more time? Absolutely not. But it helps shaping us, and what we are today, including our businesses, is also a product of what we had to endure, how we had to adapt during COVID.
Exactly. That's why I felt like, obviously, pandemic was not really a good thing. But if I look back, not to be insensitive to others, I feel that pandemic was a gift to me. At least that's how I wanted to see it. So thank you. Wonderful. So Lars, now we go to what we both do. You handle the APAC North, right? Regis IWG. And we know, okay, IWG co-working spaces, right? So tell us exactly, what kind of problems are you really solving?
Problems or needs? I would rather call it needs.
Needs.
It's about leading the revolution within hybrid working whenever and wherever. And it is about being the market leader in flexible workspace, meaning that we have a network that is unparalleled. We are going to be opening center number 50 in the Philippines, 50, wow, in the Philippines this year. And once you are a member or a customer at one location, you have access to all of them. That's brilliant. We are all over the Philippines literally. We are opening, the next center we're opening is down in Carmona, and then followed by Lipa and Batangas. We absolutely, but also looking north, we just opened our third location center in Pampanga. We are opening later another center in Subic, and we just opened in Baguio. We opened the second center in Cagayan de Oro. We are in Iloilo, multiple centers in Cebu, Davao, and you ain't seen nothing yet. Trust me, it's going really fast. I haven't seen nothing yet. Wow.
Oh, wow. So you see with that, because we're talking about flexible hybrid situation, that's a good thing also out of the pandemic, right? We never realized.
That there's no doubt that especially the largest Fortune 500 companies, they try to have multiple floors in office towers that they were paying for, and nobody were using it because we were all obligated to stay at home. So that was an expensive and painful lesson for them, and things are really different today. It's very difficult to predict your future workspace requirements. Things are changing very fast. I love AI because that really adds to unpredictability. So they are reframing the biggest companies from signing up for conventional office space, office leases with a capital investment and minimum 5 years, because you can't expect them to predict what they need 5 years from now, or even 3 or 2 years. So what maybe before was temporary for them, now temporary has become permanent. So our retention rate is very good. But I would also like to say the SMEs have always been our very loyal customers. And it's beautiful to see how they accelerate their business, basically thanks to using a platform like ours. And every time we open a new center in a new province, in the first 3 years or so, about 85% of our customers are doing business for the very first time in that particular province, meaning we are facilitating horizontal growth, we are bringing good jobs out into those provinces, but I can guarantee you the local entrepreneurs very quickly see us as a launch platform to also get a professional workspace for a nominal fee, a very good address, which looks good on your business card, your website, for your invoicing, everything else. Most importantly, they get access to our nationwide network. So if it is down in, say, Lipa, you can come up to Metro Manila and host meetings at any of our locations. You can become regional, then you can go to Cebu. Again, you're already a member, you just show your membership and then you sit in a facility like you and I are doing now. Correct. And the same in Davao, etc. Not only that, I mean, we are global. We have 4,000 plus locations. So once you're looking outside, you already have the workspace and the place where you can be hosting your meetings. I like to say, I make you look better to your customers.
I agree.
I amplify the way that you look to your customers. What I say to SMEs is, I cannot guarantee you success, but I can probably guarantee you more customers, faster and at a better price. Because at that nominal membership fee, you can have an office address at an office tower like this in the center of BGC. You can be hosting meetings here and you can basically call it your office wherever Regis is, and that is over 1,000 cities in the world in 120 countries, right?
Wow. Just wow. You're the biggest, right, in the world?
By far.
Yeah, by far.
By far.
You know, I remember during the pandemic when David lost the office, it's right away, it's Regis. Mm-hmm. He just saved us. So thank you so much. And even in Cologne, where I live, Regis is like just 10 minutes away from our house. So you're really everywhere.
Yeah, we are very big in Germany too. Yep.
You are. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Now, I want to ask you, how exactly, or is there anything else that you would want us to understand, or the business owners would like to understand in terms of, okay, now we get the address, we get the space. Is there any other added solutions, for example, that you offer that are not obvious or we don't know about?
I mean, right now we are sitting in the co-working area. This is ground zero for building communities. We have Fortune 500 companies here, and we have the smallest startup companies. We have all types of industries and all kinds of nationalities, and definitely all ages. So we are constantly hosting events in here. It can be book launches, it can be a presentation about Harley Davidson, it can be women in business, it can be young professionals, it can be about SMEs, it can be a product presentation. What it all has in common is it brings everybody together. And in the good old days, they said knowledge is power. And today I would say knowledge is not power. Is it powerful? Absolutely. But the real power, that is access to knowledge. Because things are changing so rapidly, AI, etc. We have industries that we barely know today, you and I, and they might be huge 10 years from now, and there are huge industries today that barely exist 10 years from now also. In order for me not to become obsolete, if I don't interact with SMEs and young people, if I don't pick their brains, I will be obsolete even before I officially hit my retirement age. So I constantly need to reinvent myself also, and the key for me is to be here in the community area and interact with other people and learn from them. Just like young people actually seems to fancy to speak to somebody who have more experience. You mentioned COVID. That was before COVID, boomer was a negative word. That changed with COVID, because suddenly, millennials came to so-called boomers and were seeking advice, because are we supposed to panic now or what? None of us had tried COVID before, but we have somehow seen that film before. We have tried other crises. So been there, done that, and that also, but the real leverage is only there when we find the synergy together.
I love this. I could listen to you all day, Lars. Love it.
We should have started earlier then.
Going back, it just dawned on me right now, because you talked about the needs that you try to meet, or not try, because you're really giving the solution. When you said that this is a place where people could really connect, right? Meet each other and connect. And then I went, yeah, that's what PhilSME does also. We have this place where, okay, you're business owners, you're looking for clients.
I agree.
We bring you. We have the community, right?
That was actually why I commended you for building a community that has been growing, and so have their businesses, just like our business has been growing with you guys. So you have been part of our platform to grow also, but it works both ways. Yes. And that is what we all have to appreciate. And that is what makes it so exciting to go to work every day, actually.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, Regis is IWG, something that you can really go to and see every day. While PhilSME, we do events. You connect, real business owners, entrepreneurs, startup founders, aspiring business owners.
Absolutely.
And wonderful.
We have a lot in common, actually. If we go, our company was founded about 34 years ago, and our founding CEO was a real entrepreneur, still is. But back in those days, he was selling hot dogs. He's British. He was a hot dog salesman. He was down in Europe, in Brussels, and then he needed an office, and he realized how cumbersome it was, that he had to sign up for extremely long time, for a certain amount of space, whether he liked it or not. Capital investment, as mentioned, long term. He felt there had to be an easier way to do these things, and thereby then the first Regis Center was opened.
And this was 34 years ago.
Yes. And he is still, if you meet him, you will immediately sense that he's still that young entrepreneur once he starts speaking to you. Nothing has changed in that department, that's for sure. And that's our spirit, and that's also why we are so effective in helping SMEs. After I just had joined, we just opened our 5th or 6th center in the country. So very early stages.
That was in 2012, right? When
2012 when I joined, exactly. And this was not long after that. There was this travel agent from Caloocan.
Okay.
And they wanted to cater more to the big corporations headquartered in Makati and BGC. And they realized it was very difficult with an address in Caloocan. So they took a very small internal office with us in one of the office towers and literally were at eye level with their target customers. Every so often, as they were gaining more and more of those customers that they were targeting, and they might stop by to pick up travel documents and so on, they would see a beautiful Regis office and say, wow, business must really be good for you guys. And eventually they moved on to somewhere else. Or I don't know where exactly they are today, but I can guarantee you the cars they left in after 2 years with us were a lot bigger than the cars they arrived in. So you know, it's always nice to see, you feel that you own a little share in their success, and that's just one of many examples.
See, you know that for a fact that, yeah, you know, it was, you got good leads also from us, and we were able to help you have your own office, and then now you're bigger than the office that you started.
I'm sure you also have many examples of, I mean, some of your early participants in the trade show and the trade fairs who just get bigger and bigger.
I think so, yeah. But of course, I could only speak for when I started to handle this myself, because I believe this was started by David in 2013, around that time. And I just realized, you know, only when he passed away, that's when I realized how difficult it was for him to build this. I thought it was always like so easy and all, but I know it took him so many years. And now, fortunately, with his guidance, of course, as I learned from him, this is the time where I see more, you know, like fruits of the labor, more of that. And the nice thing there, my favorite moments would always be when I hear an SME tell me that, you know, yeah, we participated last year or 2 years ago, and because of that, we got this and this clients, they're my biggest clients, and that actually kept me, how do you call that? That made me commit to this even harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not just for me, it's not just business. The way I see it now, it's a community. I can't let you down. So as long as I have the means to bring you together and give you the quality leads and the business, you know, be a place for where you can see the legitimate business solutions, and then we'll continue on doing it.
There are many ways of looking at it from our point of view. What is in it for us to participate, as we have done almost since the outset. If you ask our marketing department, they will only look at how many leads that we generate and how many of those convert into customers. That is a very narrow way of looking at it. But if that alone doesn't justify the investment that we make by participating, then of course we wouldn't continue doing so. So let me start by saying it's certainly generating good business for us. But otherwise, it's a huge learning experience for me every single time to come down to the site and interact with all of the SMEs. I'm learning all the time. I'm learning from interacting with them, but also by simply from observing. There are those that are with small companies with their own booths, like us with our own booth, but there are of course also all those that are visiting simply, looking for business opportunities. You always learn from speaking to other people. So you have to get out there, and you are creating the perfect venue for that. At the same time, by us being mirrored in an SME community, that makes us a very desirable partner also for real estate developers, landlords who want to invest in flexible workspace. They see that we are the leading provider in this segment in the Philippines and globally alike. And if they want to take a closer look just at the SME venue, they will still find us in the heart of that one. Again, thanks to you guys.
Thank you also very much for the trust and the continued partnership. So, Sir Lars, do you have an exclusive offer for the PHILSME community if they want to try to be part of the Regis community?
Yeah, but I don't even need to make it a special offer, because I think you'll be surprised to hear what it is that we offer at what price.
Yeah.
Because we all know the biggest challenge, let's talk reality here. If you are a young, small entrepreneur, a typical SME, especially in the Philippines, you have very limited resources. Mm-hmm. You have yourself, your idea, your skills, your drive. Will the bank lend you money? No. Family? Maybe. Let me put it like this. If somebody will lend you money, 99% sure it will be family and not the bank. So you're talking about really limited resources. You need to be able to focus on getting your first customers, not putting your limited resources into office space. With a membership that will cost you starting at barely 6,000 to 7,000 pesos per month. Pesos, not dollars, pesos. You have access to where we are sitting now, everything, even the entire network throughout Metro Manila, throughout the Philippines, even globally.
Can you repeat the rate again?
Yeah, it starts around 6,000 to 7,000
6,000 to 7,000
pesos per month.
And this is 2025, okay? Just to make sure you might be watching this in 2029 and you're like, hello. Okay, wonderful. That's true. It's very, very affordable.
I mean, that is why I say I amplify the way you look to your customers. I mean, it's easy to spend $1 million if you have it, at least, to look like $1 million. But to spend 6,000 to 7,000 pesos to look like $1 million, you don't find that every day. And we all know how difficult it is to start up. We all know whether you're a foreign company or local, it doesn't matter how cumbersome it is getting a phone line with PLDT or Globe or there's not that many other options, unfortunately. There is so many obstacles. So if you can find a shortcut, of course you're going to avail of it. We are that shortcut.
Exactly. So you see, if you have an office in Regis, may it be virtual or you really go there, they have services wherein your mails can get delivered right there. Somebody will get it for you, or phone calls can be redirected to them. So you have your personal secretary, right? So it's a no-brainer if you're looking for a space. Love it. Lars, now we go to, out of the many lessons you have learned in life and or in business, what would be that one thing that you would like to share to the world?
Okay, I moved country 10 times, and every country I've been in, I've been trying to find what is uniquely different in that location that enables them to do better. It's easy to find something that they're doing worse, but and for some weird reason, extremely many expats are focused on at that part. I'm always focused at what can I learn here that I take with me when I one day leave again. And after moving country 10 times, I must say that it has allowed me the privilege of having so many best practices from so many continents that by combining those, I believe that I can put together some pretty unique combinations that will become key factors to success. Why have I moved country 10 times, and out of those 10 times, 3 times have been to the Philippines, and I'm staying here for good? That's because the Philippines is the country where you build a team that are more receptive than anywhere else to take on those best practices. That's one thing that Filipinos do not necessarily appreciate, because you need to have seen what it's like outside the Philippines. But I can guarantee you, if I should start all over today, build a whole new team, and I could choose any country I lived in before, it would not be Denmark, where I'm from. It It would not be Japan, where I spent years and I even speak the language. It would not be New York or Los Angeles. It would not be Singapore or Vietnam. It will always be the Philippines.
Wow. And now you just made us realize that without us having to go through all those things.
That's the thing that is sometimes good to hear from an outsider, even though you can argue that I'm not so much of an outsider any longer, but then I have the perspective of not only those many other countries, but I have the perspective of I'm on my 4th decade doing business in the Philippines. So I have a historical picture also, and if you live here full time, and Filipinos, let's be honest, tend to be pretty cynical about the Philippines. So sometimes it's good to be reminded about the good stuff.
Thank you. That's just really wonderful because like what you said, right? Most people, they get to see, they go wherever and the first thing they see are the things that have to be improved or you know what I mean? But you, it's like, okay, what are the best things here? What are the happy things that I can get from here? So that's really, really wonderful. Because, okay, in relation to that, Lars, I think mine would be, with the many things that I have gone through, you know, no matter what happens, especially when you are in your darkest of times, I really believe that life is always beautiful.
Yeah, depends where you are in life, but there's no doubt that if you at this moment feel pretty good about yourself and what you're doing, then you must also acknowledge that everything that has happened earlier in your life, including the worst, as well as the best, that is what you are the product of today.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say. I mean, bad things also happen all the time, but the thing is, life is always happening for you, and it's not just to you. So the way I look at it is whenever I feel, for example, sad or I feel that, oh my God, I'm not so sure, is this good for me? It doesn't look like it. That's the, I think, mantra that helps me to get through day by day. Right? Because the universe always has my back. That's how I see it. So even if I'm feeling bad right now, no, this is part of the process.
And either way, Filipinos are known as being very resilient.
So very Filipino.
Wonderful. That's not a bad thing. That's good.
I really enjoy this. Why did we just do this just now? This should have a part 2. Okay, so I think we're nearing the episode, the end of the episode. Lars, can you share one fun trivia or fun fact about yourself?
In the Philippines or in general?
In general, it's up to you.
Stay tuned for a few messages from the sponsors that made this episode happen.
Want to advance your career and take your skills to the next level? Reskills, a subscription-based global online learning platform with live interactive classes taught by expert coaches. Learn at your own pace with our flexible and affordable subscription fee of just $1 per month. Visit www.reskills.com now to learn more. Reskills, everyone can learn.
Staying in touch with the people who champion your business isn't always easy. That's why businesses love Benchmark Email. Benchmark Email is the simplest way to send professional, personalized emails that grow your business. Visit www.benchmarkemail.com/go to learn more.
In the Philippines or in general?
In general, it's up to you.
It's probably more pertinent if I pick the Philippines. I earned a nickname in this country back in 1998. And it has only changed this year. So ever since then, until this year, I worked for the Coca-Cola company as their marketing director here in the Philippines. And I had to launch a cold drink availability program in 60,000 retail outlets so I declared Cold War in the Peninsula Hotel up on stage in front of all leaders of Coca-Cola in the Philippines. in order to convey that message, I had hidden all of my winter clothes from Denmark, Scandinavia, up on stage. So the further I got into my presentation, the more I got dressed for a snowstorm. So when I was done, I just said, stay cool, but I was literally dressed up for a snowstorm. That earned me the nickname Mr. Bean, and that actually stuck until this year, where I became a Lolo. So now I've gone from Mr. Bean to Lolo Lars.
Lolo Lars. So now people will start calling you Lolo Lars.
They already are. Trust me.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
As for me, a fun fact would be what? The PHILSME team, we're a lean team, very small, but it doesn't look like it because we mount big events. But the thing is, we all work from home.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it also. But of course, our office, we have a virtual office, which is here in Regis IWG.
Thank
See?
you very much. Yeah.
Thank you also.
That's not
That's fun enough for me. That's fun for like that's fun for me.
Hey.
I'm not okay.
I think
let
I'm
me
more
do it this way.
Filipino than you are, because Filipinos love a good laugh and gladly at their own expense. That was an easy one.
Maybe okay. This is more fun. Not funny, but more fun. Even before I got into PHILSME, I got into Rejuice first. And when I say Rejuice first, because this is where we used to shoot for Good News Pilipinas, right?
That's right.
See, so wow,
That's
I
right.
come full circle. And then right after that, PHILSME, and still we're here.
Yep.
So we're meant to be friends.
But most things starts here.
Thank you so much, Lars. Will we see you in the next PHILSME Business Expo?
Absolutely.
Very fast answer.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Lars. It's been
Thank you.
wonderful.
If you like this show, like and tap the follow button. Please feel free to leave us a review before you go, as this will definitely help more SME business owners in the Philippines. Thank you. Until the next episode.